Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
And here we go.
Live from the Hollywood foothills of North Carolina, welcome to episode 98 of the Confirmed Epic Podcast, a podcast that always finds a way. I'm one of your hosts, the real Brad Bell, and joining me tonight is not the man who picked our main topic, not Jerry Barbecue's 17 Reed, but instead my best friend in the entire world. Not just a friend, but a lover. Miss Abigail Curtis, my wife. Abigail Curtis Bell, I should say.
Yeah.
ACB. My wife is filling in for Jerry. Jerry has a sinus infection. We actually had dinner with Jerry, Kristen, his daughter Allie tonight. And you could kind of tell he wasn't going to be up for podcasting. So Abby has stepped in, and we're going to be talking as our main topic. We're actually going to do kind of a fun review for... I don't think it's the worst, but some people would say it's the worst movie in the Jurassic Park franchise. So. Jurassic Park 3.
I happen to agree with that.
And you actually watched this movie,
I watched
Abby.
a little bit of it, though, as much as my attention could hold with it.
Well, the movie's only an hour and a half, so you probably watched most of it. You may hear beagles in the background. That's normal. You may hear a baby in the background. That's normal now, too. But you may also hear fireworks. We're actually recording this the day after the 4th of July. But that doesn't matter in the Hollywood foothills in North Carolina.
Whose birthday was yesterday?
Whose birthday? It was Captain America's birthday.
Not only that, but his 100th birthday.
I didn't know that July 4th was supposed to be Captain America's birthday.
Why wouldn't it be?
Well, not the anniversary of the character, let's clarify, but the fictional birthday of the character.
Yeah.
Is what it's supposed to be.
Not the creation date.
Yeah, not the creation. But without further ado, let's get into episode 98 of the Confirmed Epic Podcast. We'll start out with what we've been checking out this week.
Check checklist? Check. Double check enough checklists? Check.
What have you been checking out this week?
I'm actually going to go with something that you and I didn't check out together. I have a couple things I wanted to talk about that you and I checked out together. But I got to watch, and I think, unfortunately for you, you got to watch part of the Arrowverse crossover, Crisis on Earth X. So I watched Legends of Tomorrow, I watched Arrow, I watched Flash this season, but I skip over the big crossover and usually go back and watch that on Netflix, which is what I did this year. And I kind of hate I did that because while I'm not caught up on Supergirl, I really missed out. I think that this Arrowverse crossover, Crisis on Earth X, is probably better than the Justice League movie. I know that's not saying much, but probably better than any DC movie besides Wonder Woman, which of course we know how much you love Wonder Woman. That got you on this podcast in the first place. But what I love about this is the stakes are so high, and you get to see Arrow go up against Dark Arrow. It's just a doppelganger from Earth X who in this alternate reality where Hitler, it's kind of like Man in the High Castle where Hitler and the Nazis won World War II. So Hitler died in 1994, and Dark Arrow, Oliver Queen, became their Fuhrer and came up. There's like a new logo. It's not the swastika, although there are unfortunately some swastikas on there. And he married Supergirl in this reality. And she is dying, so they come to this Earth in a breach to get the main Supergirl, and chaos ensues. I just absolutely love this. It's confirmed epic to me. Abby, I don't think you like these Arrowverse. Why don't you like these Arrowverse shows? Because you kind of roll your eyes every time I'm watching them.
They're like the epitome of cheesy. They had it. Was that part of like the episode you watched today was a musical?
Yeah, I went back and watched the musical episode, the Flash and Supergirl crossover from like season 3. I skipped it because I thought it would be kind of cheesy. And it was.
I don't watch them, so I don't have a lot to say about them.
But Melissa Benoist, and Grant Gustin were both in Glee, so they actually can sing fairly. They weren't doing like lip singing, like they were actually singing. Which
Who?
is the guy that plays the Flash, Grant Gustin.
He was on Glee?
Yeah, for like 7 episodes. And then she was on there like as a main cast member for like 2 seasons. and actually married one of the guys from Glee. I don't know the guy. I didn't watch Glee. Did you watch Glee?
I watched like a few seasons of Glee.
Did you like it?
It was okay.
It was like the big thing there for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, a lot of people loved Glee.
Yeah. And a lot of those people were pretty famous at the time.
Gwyneth Paltrow was on Glee.
Yeah. As a reoccurring character?
She was on like a few episodes. I wouldn't say she was like a main character or anything like that.
Gwyneth Paltrow. What's her kid's name? Apple, and what else?
Moses
and Apple. And you hear those fireworks. Penny here is freaking the hell out. I mean, she's like
trying to get on the table.
She's
on
like
her
a
dining room table.
velociraptor trying to get out of her cage here, which kind of fits our Jurassic Park 3 review. However, I recommend this, even if you're not watching these. If you have Netflix, just Google the Arrowverse crossover, Crisis on Earth X, the episodes you need to watch. You can find it like in a few seconds. And go on there and just find them. I wish they kind of just had these all cut together and you could just select these crossover specials. But I highly recommend it. Now, Abby, I'm all caught up on all the Arrowverse. I just need to watch 3 seasons of Supergirl and 1 season of Black Lightning. And the thing is, Supergirl didn't start out as part of the Arrowverse because that came on CBS, and then they brought her in.
Oh, okay.
And Superman does appear on Supergirl in a 2-part episode. Yeah, there's a Superman episode where he's like a main part.
So, how are they related?
She is his cousin.
Okay.
Yeah. So, check that out. I look forward to checking some more of Black Lightning and Supergirl out this summer. Okay, Abby, now to something that you and I both watched. This is a movie. No, it's not Gone with the Wind, but another movie that Abby had been trying to get me to watch for a couple of years now. That just happened to be on HBO. We recorded it.
I was excited it was on HBO because I've been dying to see it.
And that is Sideways. And what's really cool about Sideways that has to do with this podcast is written by Alexander Payne, who also wrote Jurassic Park 3.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not.
How does that happen?
It's so weird. We watched both of those movies this week.
We just happened to watch Sideways.
Yeah, it is like totally.
Did you know that before you watched it?
Saying there is a God. No, I didn't know that. His name dog.
This dog is crazy. She's trying to climb up on the table again.
Yeah, she is. And we got all this podcast and stuff. We got like the computer.
Brad will freak out if she touches anything.
Yeah, because if you touch this, it like will mess the sound up. Hopefully it's not already doing that. But if you haven't seen Sideways, Abby, why don't you tell our listeners kind of what it's about?
It's about 2 friends.
Thomas Hayden Church and Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, they've been friends probably since they were younger. Decide to go on a bachelor trip in wine country in California. And it's about, one of them is an actor. Thomas plays an actor who...
Like a B-level, like a soap opera
Yeah, who's in commercials.
Yeah.
Who's a womanizer.
Mm-hmm. Who's trying to tap anything that moves, even though he's about to get married.
Yeah, exactly. And then Paul Giamatti plays a teacher, a middle school teacher, who's obsessed with wine, knows a lot about wine, is a wine snob, I would say.
He looks like a teacher, too.
Yeah, just freshly divorced teacher. He's kind of going through depression.
Taking Xanax and Lexapro,
popping Xanax,
all this crap.
Yeah. Who can't seem to move on from his ex-wife, even though she's moved on.
And spoiler alert for Sideways. I think this was like an indie movie from 2004, but it was a really popular movie when it came out.
Yeah, I remember watching it.
And his wife is pregnant, which he finds out, but
not with his kid.
It's just such a great dynamic between these two, because one is this good-looking, charismatic guy.
They're exact opposites.
Yeah, and Paul Giamatti,
who has like such a zest for life, like he wants to go out and totally like live and do stuff, and Paul Giamatti is kind of stuck in a rut where he can't really
stuck in his routine.
Yeah, and wants to kind of just do nothing spontaneous. Everything has to be planned. And
so besides the fact that it features one of your favorite things in the world, which is wine, and I know it's your dream to go to wine country in California. Hopefully we'll be able to do that one day.
Indeed.
But what resonates with this movie to you? Why do you like it so much? Why were you hell bent on getting me to watch it? I mean, it's just besides the fact it's a really great movie.
Well, when I watched it, I was 14. We were on vacation at Bald Head Island, and I remember my parents, they were like, "Hey, Abby, come watch this." 'Cause I have 2 younger siblings, and they had gone to bed, and they're like, "You want to watch a movie with us? You can have your first glass of wine, because this movie's about wine." And I just remember that experience and being like, "God, my parents are going to let me drink a glass of wine. How cool is this? I
What
get to
kind
watch
of
a whole
wine was it, do you remember?
It was a Chardonnay. And it was good.
Okay.
But I mean, I didn't.
So
that was like a special occurrence. It wasn't like they let me drink all the time. We were on
just
vacation
weekly at that point, right? I'm joking.
It was because we were on vacation, and they were like, "Hey, you know."
So this movie's like sentimental to you in some ways.
Kind of, and then but Europeans let their kids do that occasionally too. So it wasn't like nobody call DSS on my parents.
I don't think they are. But I really like this movie. It's a good indie flick. Those two just have a great rapport.
I'm surprised you liked it as much as you did.
I'm surprised I've never seen it.
Why did you like it so much?
I just think just because of
the relationships between the characters.
Yeah, it reminded me of me and Evan.
I really like the female characters in this film because I just think they're so, like, not hipster. They're just kind of...
They're cool.
They're cool. They're educated. They know a lot about what they do. They know a lot about wine. They live kind of a hippie-ish lifestyle.
Yeah.
They're kind of just, spontaneous, see where the next step takes them kind of thing. So
yeah, so if you've never seen Sideways, check it out. I'd probably rate it like a great. Another movie that we watched, Abby, was Blockers.
We just watched that.
We watched last night, so it just came out on DVD and Blu-ray. It came out this past spring. I think April 6th was the theatrical release date. And it's basically a reverse American Pie. So you have these friends who have been friends since they were in kindergarten, and by proxy, their parents also became friends.
Yeah.
Well, kind of friends, just kind of by association, like happens with kids and parents a lot of times. And they have a pact that they want to lose their virginity, and
on prom night,
which is the
plot
a
lot
of
of
American
teenagers
Pie.
want to do.
Yeah, that's true. So what happens in this movie is they intercept basically an iMessage. You know how if you ever have used iMessage, it's the same messages on your computer as on your phone, and chaos ensues as they try to prevent
They figure out that their kids are really wanting to plan to lose their virginities on prom night, and they're like, "Oh, hell to the no."
And this guy, John Cena, Leslie Mann, and the comedian's name, I think it was from Mad TV.
He was from Mad TV.
His name is Ike Barinholtz.
Derek who? Black.
Yeah, Derek Black from the Amy Schumer movie
so
Snatch.
stupid.
But I'm talking this movie I really enjoyed. What I really liked about this movie, I'm not going to spoil it because you probably want to watch it.
I literally thought it was going to be the stupidest movie.
But it wasn't, right?
Yeah, the previews didn't do it any justice. It was actually a really pretty good comedy.
It actually it was funny, but it was a heartfelt comedy.
Yeah.
I really liked.
But I think we can appreciate it too because we're parents now, and
with a daughter.
Exactly. So we're like,
I'm like holding my baby tight.
We're not gonna let her date until she's like 40.
I kind of felt. I'm glad I watched this after we had Harper because it was kind of a double-edged sword for me. On one hand, as a dad, I was like, oh my God, oh hell no. Like, I completely relate to, like, John Cena's character. So you got John Cena and Leslie Mann trying to stop this. And then you have the other guy, Ike Barinholtz, trying to be like, okay, this is what kids do.
Yeah, but he doesn't have... He's divorced.
He's estranged, kind of.
Yeah, estranged.
From his daughter. But... they kind of come to the realization that there is truly a double standard, when it comes to sexuality between males and females. I know I'm not breaking any news by saying that here on this podcast, but just by the fact that guys losing their virginity, guys sleeping with girls is almost a celebratory practice, where when you put the shoe on the other foot and you talk about girls doing it, it's just like gross. And I don't know if it should be that way. I mean, I'm not saying that I want girls to go out and sleep with as many guys as possible, But it's unrealistic to think that in 2018
They
are going
judged.
to wait until marriage.
They get judged a lot more, though.
Yeah, what do you
than
think
casting.
about this? Do you think the movie had a good message to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
We're
hard
not going to spoil anything, though. I'm not going to say anything that's going to spoil the movie.
No, I don't want to say it. But there's definitely a lot of character growth in this film. So, Abby, we also checked out one other movie. And then
God, we watched a lot of movies
we
this
did.
week.
Well, when you have a newborn, you're kind of
Usually when she's asleep, we're like, what do we do? Okay, let's just watch a movie.
We watch a movie, we read, catch up on laundry.
Yeah.
Something to relax.
Cook.
Yeah. But cook, yeah, absolutely. Or wash bottles. Oh my God, you wash so many bottles when you have a kid. But Abby, we watched Mission Impossible 3, J.J. Abrams. I'm really excited
Yeah,
about
I've never watched any of the Mission Impossible movies.
And the thing about them,
But I know the theme song.
do it.
No. Dun, 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 dun.
All right, that is my lame
Lovely.
attempt at the Mission Impossible theme. But you've never seen any of these
Nope.
movies, and this was your
Nope.
first experience. And I think this is now. Don't get me wrong. 4 and 5 are more spectacle films. Rogue Nation is 5. Fallout's the new one, and Ghost Protocol's the 4th. I always get the new names mixed up. But I think this is the best Mission Impossible movie, just from a character plot perspective. And Philip Seymour Hoffman is the bad guy. Is just really, really. He's not like an all-time great bad guy or anything, but he's a really good bad guy. What did you think of this movie? Was it a good introduction to the Mission Impossible?
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I don't usually like action movies.
What
that
was your
much.
favorite part of this movie? I'll tell you mine. I just want to see if you remember a part that you really liked. And if you don't, that's okay. But
The part I really liked the most is probably when they were on that bridge above the water.
yes, that's my favorite part too. Oh my God. This is one of the first Blu-rays I ever bought. And I remember Josiah coming over to my house, and I just got my Pioneer surround sound in the box, got my first Blu-ray player, which was the PS3, I think. And I would just rewind that scene. That was so good when they break.
Where did they film that? Where's that bridge?
But it was a big
I liked
bridge.
it. Yeah, because they had the helicopter coming down on them, and then
It was shot so well.
were blowing up the bridge, and it's just like,
You know how when you see like some action movies, you're like, this is totally generic bullshit.
yeah.
But that was just shot so well that you could tell J.J. Abrams has like real talent as a filmmaker. Just that scene was when I was like, okay, this guy, and I think I've said this on the podcast before, is going to be a legit force. And no pun intended, he ended up directing Force Awakens, which I liked. But I love this movie. If you hadn't seen all the Mission Impossible movies are really good. The second one's probably the worst one.
Really? Who filmed
Yeah.
that, or who directed
It's
that?
John Woo, who is a kind of an Asian action director, and there's a lot of white doves, which is a trademark of his movies. There's a lot of slow motion. You know who the main girl is in that one?
No.
Tandy Newton, that plays Maeve on
Oh,
Westworld.
okay.
And guess who? Anthony Hopkins is also in that movie.
That's funny.
So you have some Westworld crossover. But I'm trying to watch all the Mission Impossible movies before Fallout comes out. I want to see Fallout more than any other movie. Even more than Ant-Man. Like, of all the movies left, I want to see Fallout the most because I just love this franchise so much. The 4K Blu-rays just come out.
You can't find them anywhere.
You can't. Best Buy
Sold out.
Amazon
Sold
2 to 3
out.
months, but Best Buy just got them in online. I ordered. I have 1, 2, and 3. I don't have 4 and 5. I ordered 4 and 5. But you kind of
Dang,
do.
how many movies are there?
This is the sixth
Sixth
one
one
coming out.
Oh, okay.
And you think, well, okay, yeah, 6th movie. It's like a franchise like James Bond. There's like
Rocky?
20-something James Bond. But here's the thing. It's Tom Cruise in every one of them.
Yeah,
And he
that's kind of
looks
wild.
about the
I know
same.
he doesn't age.
He does not age. It's that Scientology. Abby, I think there's something else we checked out this week you wanted me to bring up. What's that?
No. Who's the best director in the world?
Michael Bay. Christopher Nolan. No, of course.
Oh, Yeah, well, he's
Nolan's
good.
my favorite, but the best director
Okay.
living is Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, thank you.
Steven Spielberg. If Nolan's the LeBron James of directors,
Then he's the
Spielberg's
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan of directors for sure. But you and I got the chance to check out the HBO 2.5-hour documentary.
Which, by the way, I didn't know that was just like a whole just run on. I thought it was just episodes that you were
didn't
watching.
know it was like a
I didn't know it
documentary?
was a documentary. I thought it was episodes of Spielberg. Like, I don't, for some reason.
Yeah.
Because I guess we watched it in chunks
Yeah.
at a time. Because
What you gotta do when you have
a newborn.
when you have kids. And this was actually directed by Susan Lacey. It premiered on HBO this past October. I mean, you get interviews from so many people here. Brian De
Leo
Palma, J.J.
DiCaprio.
Abrams, Leo DiCaprio, Eric Bana, Drew Barrymore. I mean, so many. George Lucas. Anybody that's worked with Spielberg, Tom Hanks on here, Lawrence Kasdan. And to see, here's what got me, because we could talk about Spielberg all night, and I know he directed the first Jurassic Park, so it's kind of cool we're talking about this. But in 1993, he did Schindler's List and Jurassic Park.
I didn't know he did
year.
Schindler's List.
But yeah, that's his best picture.
So I
winner.
learned that, and
yeah,
that was crazy.
What's crazy to me is kind of the path his career has taken as a filmmaker, because
the dude is so smart. He can do all these movies and knows so much about the subject he's doing. It's crazy.
So, Jaws is the first blockbuster, right?
Yep.
All right. Do you know where the term blockbuster came from?
From Jaws, the summer blockbuster, the first summer blockbuster.
How they got that name, blockbuster, for big movies.
From I have no idea, because
so
that was before.
People were lined up around the block for Jaws. Blockbuster, like the actual block you're waiting on to get into the movie theater. But so from Jaws and E.T. and movies like that to doing horror movies like The Poltergeist to doing these historical dramas
I can't believe that. Saving Private Ryan,
Lincoln, The Post,
God, that
Schindler's
guy.
List. He can't, you see something like on Stranger Things, you're like, this is Spielbergian.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's so much that you don't consider to be Spielbergian, but he's put his kind of stamp on it. And the
War of the Worlds.
Have you ever seen War? That's another Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, I've seen that one. We all saw that together.
No, we saw The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves together.
No, I have never seen that movie.
The War of the Worlds came out in 2005 or 2006.
Yeah, I didn't see it when it came out.
We watched it together.
Yeah.
I have that on DVD. That's like one of the first DVDs
we watched
I bought.
that at your house.
We did?
I think.
I
I
don't
don't know.
We did. We should watch it.
I have.
Really good.
I definitely saw that with you though.
One of the things that was cool is you get to see kind of all the themes of Spielberg, like his relationship with his dad and how there's a lot of, bad father-son dynamics in his movies, and it kind of comes from his real life experiences.
The guy,
with his dad.
how many kids does he have? Like 7? Some of them are adopted, some of them are biological, which I thought was cool. He's a big family man.
One of the best quotes, I can't remember who said it, is you meet Steven Spielberg and he acts like somebody who works for Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Meaning that he is a humble, earnest,
he seems like it though
guy, and he seems like here is the guy who has reached the pinnacle of his field. Like if there's a Mount Rushmore of directors,
it's him.
He's up there, at the he's the George Washington, right, of the mountain. It would be like him, Alfred Hitchcock. That's a good question.
It would be the other two.
Who would you put on the mount? I would say that Stanley Kubrick, who did The Shining in 2000, and probably George Lucas.
Stanley Cooper?
Yeah, 2001.
But he's like
Odyssey,
awful, I thought. Isn't he like
treated his people
like then
shit
then he doesn't belong up there.
Still though, he made science fiction. He paved the way for science fiction with 2001: A Space Odyssey. All right, Abby, is that it for what we've been checking out this week?
I think so.
Besides dirty diapers, right?
Right.
So let's go ahead and get into the epic news items of the week.
Says right.
Abby, this first epic news story is near and dear to our heart, and that has to do with one of our favorite comedians, Danny McBride. He's returning to HBO. And he's returned to HBO with a show, and a comedy, in which he and John Goodman play these televangelists are like these crooked preachers who go door to door. John Goodman's his dad.
Oh, God.
And so this is going to complete his trilogy of comedies on HBO because he had Eastbound and Down. He had Vice Principals. So he went from playing a deadbeat, washed-up pro baseball player to a vice principal to now he is this crazy minister. And that is coming. I don't know when it's going to be hitting HBO. The name of the show is called Righteous Gemstones. Abby, what do you think of this concept?
Oh, my God. I mean, I know it's going to be crazy because Eastbound and Down was crazy, and so was Vice Principals. They were both nuts
He has
in a good way.
We've talked about this. Dane McBride is one of the best physical comedians going
facially,
right now.
He is great because, like, anytime he's just stupid.
Just how he looks at someone, he can convey
a message.
And it's just freaking hilarious.
I know.
And I can just see him, like, being this crazy religious, like, over to the right Southern Baptist type, just making people feel like crap about their life, but also doubting what he's saying.
To me, he's kind of like, I don't know if you would agree with this, but like,
who's he like?
To me, he's kind of like Will Ferrell, where he can say something just mildly funny, but make it funnier by his face when he delivers it.
See, I don't necessarily agree with that.
I love Will Ferrell, though. I don't
like Will Ferrell the way that like
Anchorman.
You and Andrew do. I don't.
Oh my God, which I think
Anchorman.
is like one of the best movies ever.
I think Dane McBride reminds me more of.
Well, I'm not saying he's just. I mean, he reminds me of that just by doing that. But I mean, it's not like he's like Will Ferrell.
Of the Seth Rogen guys, like Seth Rogen, Jason Segel, Jay Baruchel.
Who's your favorite?
Michael Cera, oh my gosh, Jonah Hill. I think James Franco. I think Danny McBride's my favorite of those. I mean Seth Rogen, but I think
is he Canadian?
He don't have to be Canadian. He's in their little comedy group. The guy from The Office too, the black guy that plays Daryl, Craig Robinson. He's really funny too. But I think he's the damn fun of all those people. I think as far as pure humor. He is the funniest one. And it's humorous because we're trying to feed a baby and do a podcast at the same time.
You gotta multitask.
You do. So, speaking of multitasking, to do that, you need a good wingman. And it was announced this week that in Top Gun 2, Miles Teller has been cast as the son of Goose.
Oh my God.
This comes out July 12th, 2019. Are you a Top Gun fan?
Yeah. I like Top Gun.
I like Top Gun. And the thing is, you tell me...
Is Val Kilmer going to be in it?
He is.
Is he really?
He looks like shit.
I know.
I hate to be mean. He had throat cancer, and he was he had put on a lot of weight, but then he got sick, and now he's lost a ton of weight. But he's healthy, quote unquote healthy.
Is he in remission?
I think he's past that. I think he's beat the cancer completely. But the thing is, you put him against Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise still looks the same. We just talked about it.
He's like a freaking vampire.
He was in Interview with a Vampire with Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
But
Brad Pitt's aged.
But Brad Pitt's aged. I think he's aged well. Like, you see Brad Pitt, it's like, okay, he looks like an older Brad Pitt. You see Tom Cruise, you're like, he doesn't like an older Tom Cruise. Like, I'm convinced Tom Cruise is going to be like 70 and look 40. Like,
yeah.
It's ridiculous. I don't know if we need a Top Gun 2.
No, I think it's like my sister and I were talking with you. Some movies just don't need a sequel.
Do you agree, Harper? She's got the need for speed, the need for you to feed her this bottle a lot quicker. I really like Top Gun. It's been a while since I've watched it. It's kind of, that was Tony Scott, who is Ridley Scott's brother. Tony Scott committed suicide a couple years ago, so I don't know who's taken over as director. I'm gonna look this up real quick. I'm just interested to see who's directing this movie. They're just now Joseph Kosinski, who did Oblivion that Tom Cruise was in, that we reviewed on this podcast a long time ago, also did Tron Legacy in 2010. But do we need a Top Gun 2? No, we don't. I think if Tom Cruise is going to do it, though, it's going to be decent.
I'm surprised that he jumps on like
he
that.
doesn't jump on anything. I mean, like I'm convinced that there's not many movies you've seen Tom Cruise in where you're like, this movie sucks.
No.
There's the ones where you're like, okay, like Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
But there's not many outright bad ones. The last bad Tom Cruise movie I can think of was that Night and Day movie in 2007 with Cameron Diaz, where he was like a secret agent, some cliche bullshit. And he fell in love with her, and she got caught. Me and you saw this at the movies together when it came out. No, not 2007. It was later than that. It was like 2009. I'm looking this movie up here, Abby. Night and Day. Came out in 2010. So yeah, we were dating then. It was a romantic action movie, and it was like
he was in it with Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, he was in it with Cameron Diaz. Not well received. I think on Rotten Tomatoes it was. Hold on, let me give you that score. Night and Day was a rotten 52%.
Maybe that's why I don't remember it, because it was not that good.
No, what do you think about Miles Teller though as an actor? Do you like him?
He's good. I haven't really seen much that he's in though.
I've been trying to get you to watch The Spectacular now for ever, and you won't. That was like my favorite movie from 2012. It's it's got him and Shailene Woodley in it. They fall in love like their senior year in high school. Don't go, you love Shailene Woodley and what's our show we watched with
what?
With Reese Big Little
Lies,
Reese Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman, but
no. Okay, so she was in a movie about dying from cancer.
Yeah, what was the name of that movie?
I don't remember.
Oh, crap. It was
I don't like movies like that.
Paper Towns, was it? Was that it?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I want to look it up, and I know I could, but I'm trying to remember it, and I refuse to look it up. But, so you like Miles Teller, but do we really need the son of Goose?
No.
That just
Why?
sounds stupid.
Why do we need that in our lives?
I don't know.
Does it fulfill it? No.
No, some movies don't need a sequel.
There's several movies that don't need sequels.
That's a whole different topic.
Yeah, we won't get into that.
No, that could be a good topic. What movies didn't need sequels? All right, here is the kind of random news story of the week. So there's this movie coming out called Into the Spider-Verse in December. It's an animated Spider-Man movie. It's going to have a guy from New Girl, Jake, what's his name? Oh my gosh, we're like butchering remembering names here. Jake Johnston from New Girl. He was in The Mummy with Tom Cruise, and he is voicing Peter Parker in this movie. But it's going to revolve around the Miles Morales Spider-Man, and it's going to be cool. It's going to have Spider-Gwen.
So it's going to have Spider-Man and Spider-Man in it?
Yeah, both Spider-Man, and it's going to have Spider-Gwen. It's going to have Silk, I believe. So like all these different spider people from the comics in their own movie called Into the Spider-Verse. The animation is really cutting edge. I mean, it looks really, really good. This isn't just some, no pun intended, throw some shit at the wall and sees what sticks here. This actually looks like a decent Spider-Man movie. But in the comics, there's this character. His name's Spider-Man Noir. Like a noir Spider-Man. He wears a trench coat. He wields guns. He is a really out there but a fun character who appears in a couple Spider-Man stories. And the rumor is, it hasn't been confirmed, but the rumor is that you know who's going to voice him, Abby? Nicolas Cage. He's going to voice Spider-Man Noir. I want to see this movie anyway. It's probably one I'll have to end up waiting on Blu-ray because it comes out like I think around Christmas Day or right before Christmas. So that sounds like impossible for me to probably get to the movies and see it.
Well, you know, there's so many good movies coming out around then, like The Grinch.
Oh yeah, The Grinch is coming out like first week in November though.
And Mary Poppins comes out Christmas Day.
Is that this year? Mary Poppins 2?
Yeah. No, it's
it's Mary Poppins 2.
Emily Blunt's Mary Poppins.
And Mary Poppins Returns is what it's called. It comes out Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's right. Emily Blunt's Mary Poppins. You know I love Emily Blunt.
I love her husband, so.
I love John Krasinski.
Hey, we need to watch that movie.
Quiet Place. It's actually coming in the mail next week while we're at the beach.
Oh, okay.
So that is one that we'll be talking about. I think I'm going to save that review, though, for around Halloween time.
We'll watch it then. How about that?
No, we'll watch it as soon as we get back from the beach. I want to watch this thing as soon as
I have to go back
possible.
to work.
Yeah. So before we get into our main topic, I'm going to introduce kind of a new short topic here to the Confirmed Epic podcast. It's called the Random Tweets of the Week. So we'll pull 2 or 3 random tweets, not from movie outlet people, not from like Slash Film, not from like friends of the show, but just people, random people in the Twitterverse who have no idea they're going to be featured on this podcast, probably would never listen to this podcast, but we're going to kind of get their takes on some of the stuff that's went on in film news and other geek news.
Just film news?
Not just film, movies, TV, comics too, but...
Not politics though, right?
No, not politics, guy. We're not going to Twitter for politics. We get
That's
enough
like
of that from our president.
Downward spiral, right?
Yeah, that we're not going to go into. But basically what I did was I took hashtag Top Gun 2 and hashtag Spider-Man New War for tweets of the week this week.
Chicken, Peter, you just a little chicken. Chip, 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 chip.
Who are you calling a chicken?
Come on. Chip, 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 chip. You're not good. You're just a chicken. Chip, 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 chip.
The first one comes from Mr. Paul Rudnick at Paul Rudnick NY. Fun fact, in the upcoming Top Gun sequel, Maverick and Iceman are married and running a homeswear boutique in Fort Lauderdale, Florida called Drones and Things. They're twins. Rogue and Ammo are in preschool. That's his pitch for Top Gun 2. So that comes from Paul Rudnick in New York, which about sounds as outlandish as something we may get actually in Top Gun 2. Okay, the next one comes from Awesome Head C. Awesome Head C. He's on Twitter at Griffin Chase 5. So Twitter has like your title and then it has like your at. So mine's like at the real Brad Bell, but it says Confirmed Epic Podcast. Okay. And his comment is on Spider-Man New War. What? Exclamation point 4 times. I can't tell if this is a good thing or not. Exclamation point 2 times. I mean, at Christopher JM and at Phil Lord. So Chris Miller, Phil Lord, who directed the Lego movies and wrote the upcoming Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, are comedy writers. But Nick Cage is going to play both Superman and Teen Titans Go to the Movies and Spider-Man as Spider-Man Noir Into the Spider-Verse. So he seems to be pretty excited about it. So that's our random tweets of the week. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our feature review of Jurassic Park 3, directed by Joe Johnston.
I have a proposition I'd like to discuss with you. I've chartered an airplane to fly us over Isla Sorna, and we'd like you to be our guide. We'd love to make a contribution to your research here.
It could almost be paradise.
My God, I'd forgotten.
We have a landing strip up ahead.
You cannot land on this island.
Oh my God!
But in this forbidden place, where man has tampered with nature,
this is how you make dinosaurs?
This is how you play God.
something unexpected has evolved.
They can talk to each other.
To a degree we never imagined.
On July 18th,
You probably won't get off this island alive.
it's not just a walk in the park.
They set a trap. They actually set a trap.
Get into a few stats from Jurassic Park 3. Directed by Joe Johnston, and a fun fact, Joe Johnston is the guy who invented the Boba Fett character and Boba Fett armor for Star Wars, so that's kind of his claim to fame. Produced by Kathleen Kennedy, who produced most of Spielberg's movies, runs Lucasfilm right now for Disney. Stars Sam Neill, William H. Macy, Tia Leone, and for a brief cameo, Laura Dern. Scored by Don Davis, although there's a lot of John Williams' original theme here. This was released July 16, 2001. Has a running time of 92 minutes, so fairly short. A budget of $93 million. This film grossed $368.8 million worldwide, so it was a financial success, although not close to the previous two Jurassic Parks. And it scored a 50% even on Rotten Tomatoes. So, this is a movie from 2001, so I'm not going to go out of my way to avoid spoilers, but if you haven't seen Jurassic Park 3, spoilers for that 2001 film starting now. Alright, I'm going to take Jerry's spot and kind of sit this film up. We start out, they're parasailing on the second island, something new bar, I think. I don't know the names of the islands like Jerry does. And a son and his stepdad are trying to get a look at some of the dinosaurs. There's a parasailing accident. Something happens to the people driving the boat. They don't show you on screen, so this is bad filmmaking because it happens off screen. But they cut away from the boat. They cut back to it. There's blood. They're gone. They have to unhook their harness, and boom, they're on the island. All of a sudden, you got some people going to recruit Sam Neill, who's Dr. Alan Grant from the original Jurassic Park, and bring him there by bribing him by donating money to fund his current research to get him there to find their son. So it's the original dad, played by William H. Macy, and his mom, played by Tia Leone. So, Abby, you watched most of this film with me. What'd you think of this movie? What's your initial impressions here on Jurassic Park 3?
I only saw like half of it, so.
Well, that's enough, Abby, for you to talk about it.
It wasn't that great.
Why is it not that great? Like, what did you see on this movie that you were like, this is dumb as hell to you? Because this isn't my least favorite. I don't hate this movie. It's not my least favorite Jurassic Park film. That's Lost World.
I don't know. They just had... The dinosaurs weren't that great. They had pterodactyls. They had that one that was...
I don't know what
swallowed the cell phone and pooped it out.
Yeah, well, dang, Abby, that's like the best part.
They had Tia Leone, who went just over the top in one scene, who was screaming like way too much.
Yeah. Well, let's get into some of that. I thought this film...
It just didn't hook my attention.
And it's a short movie.
Which is a problem.
So this movie, like I said, was 92 minutes long. It feels a bit boring to me because
it's very boring.
It feels like
I was folding laundry during it, trying to just stay awake.
And this was at 7:00 at night. But when you have a newborn, it's hard to stay awake sometimes at any point during the day.
You just want to blink.
But here's how I feel about this movie. It seems like a collection of action set pieces more than it does an actual narrative story. And I think that's a problem. Like, you have the plane crash on the island. It's up in the trees. You have that one weird-looking, ugly-ass dinosaur attack it. Pretty cool scene. One guy gets eaten. They fall out. They're screaming. And, it's just very...
It's just very
generic? Is that
it's very just... Like somebody threw shit at the wall and it stuck.
No, I don't know if it, like dino shit. I don't know if it did stick. It kind of reminds reminds me of, like, if this was like one of those simulators at Universal Studios or
a lame simulator.
Something. Yeah, not like a actual movie. Although when you're in those moments, they're fun as hell. But everything else, I think a lot of them are. Maybe not the one I just mentioned, but that pterodactyl scene is really good. They go into like a pterodactyl aviary. They're trying to get away from some velociraptors. This is very well shot. Like, most of this movie isn't that well shot, but this is one part of the movie that is. You can't see above you because there's so much like fog, I guess. And
it's like The Mist.
Yes, a lot like The Mist, but just the suspense of when the pterodactyls are going to come down. where they're going to come down from exactly is really good. You have they're trying to throw they get to the kid. Yeah, they get to the kid that they want to rescue, William H. Macy and Tia Leone's son. He's been living on the island. He's actually pretty tough. He's a survivalist. And they're trying to get to the coast and try to get some help and get off the island. But anyway, so the mom pterodactyl picks up the kid that they go to save and throws him into the nest with the baby pterodactyls. I thought that was a very terrifying and effective scene. Did you not think that was pretty cool?
The baby pterodactyls.
Yeah.
He was in the nest with them because the mom was trying to feed him to them.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And I don't know. It just wasn't that interesting to me.
I thought that part was really cool. There's some other parts. There's parts I like about this movie, but for everything I like, there's like two things that I didn't like, and the movie's a lot worse than I remember. Because the thing I remember is the pterodactyl scene, and that lives up to my remembrance.
Well, it's nothing like The Birds. If you've ever seen the movie The Birds,
yeah,
it doesn't have anything on. Yeah, it doesn't have anything on that, so you're not missing much.
Well, you're talking about like an all-time cinematic classic in The Birds. It's like
but dinosaurs.
Kemba Walker doesn't have anything on Scottie Pippen.
But dinosaurs should be able to, scare you more than birds, right?
Those pterodactyls were scary.
They weren't that scary.
Oh my gosh, when they started poking the guy, that was freaking scary. More than the mama coming and getting the guy. When those little ones are like, da, 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 da. It reminded me. You know what that reminded me of? Or I should say, the newer version reminded me of the older version. It's in the first Jurassic World when those baby raptors eat Vincent D'Onofrio. It's like Blue and his pack of baby raptors eat the big fat guy. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, that's a much more effective scene, I think, in Jurassic World than it is here in Jurassic Park 3. But I didn't care about any of these characters.
No, that's the thing. You don't care about any of them.
I gave a crap about one character, Dr. Alan Grant, played by Sam Neill. Why do you give a crap about him?
Because he's in the original.
He's in the first Jurassic Park. That was the only
Was
reason.
he in the second one too, or no?
No. So he's in the first. They're all in the first one, obviously. The next one is just Jeff Goldblum. Then Ian Malcolm. Then this one
They're trying to save their budget.
Him and Laura Dern. They just wouldn't come back and do it.
Well, can you blame them? It's not the best movie.
No, I can't.
They went from
one of the best movies of all time.
The best Jurassic Park.
The only Jurassic Park.
I mean, that's like the best movie out of all. I mean, even like this.
Abby told me what her favorite Jurassic Park movie was. What did you say, Abby? Go ahead.
I'm not going to say that.
I was asking her what her favorite Jurassic Park movie. She was messing with me. We were on our way to see Fallen Kingdom.
Well, I said sharks are a prehistoric animal.
I guess there are prehistoric sharks.
I was just trying to piss him off.
And on the cover of the book Meg, which they're making a movie of, it said Jurassic Shark. But you said the best Jurassic Park movie's Jaws. I mean, they're both directed by Spielberg.
I was just trying to piss you off, though.
You were just messing with me, trying to piss me off.
The best Jurassic Park movie is the first Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That's an all-time cinematic classic. I felt like Alan Grant and Sam Neill was just here to collect a paycheck.
Yeah, I felt like
he
that
was
too.
there. He was putting in effort, but he was not like, you could tell he wasn't into the role.
He wasn't living his life.
Whereas the first one, well, he stayed alive in the movie, so at least he did that. Whereas the first one, it's just like every time he sees a dinosaur, it's like majestic or terrifying.
That's how he was directed, though.
Both, yeah. And there's a big difference between Joe Johnston. You know what movie Joe Johnston directed, though, that you like? He directed the first Captain America movie.
Oh, no
Captain
way.
America First Avenger.
Stop.
Yeah, he did, so... there's a lot of problems here. There's some problems at the script level, so maybe it's that guy who wrote Sideways that was more of the problem. Maybe he's drinking too much wine. Alexander Payne when he was, and he's like, you know what, screw this. I'm just gonna make a movie about wine.
Hey,
Sideways came out 3 years after this movie.
Hey, he did an awesome job with Sideways.
Which is crazy.
So
we kind of talked about him mailing it in. There's a famous scene in the first Jurassic Park where they go to climb the fence.
Yeah.
and the fence, the power's off in the park, and it comes on, and the boy's on the fence.
Electrocuted.
Yeah, they're trying to time it just right.
Yep.
There's a scene in this one where they go to a fence. You look like you're going to have another dramatic scene, but nope. They just go right through the fence. Nothing at all. And then here comes this big dinosaur up against the fence, and then you hear the cell phone ring, or the satellite phone, I should say. And that's a big plot point. Allie, Jerry's daughter, loves this part where the dinosaur eats the cell phone rings, it poops it out, and they have to... Oh, that's another thing. So at the end of the movie, they're trying to get off the island, so they're trying to get the satellite phone. They, like, dig through the poop, right? Again, just going back to the first Jurassic Park when Laura Dern digs through that Triceratops poop. It's like, let's take the greatest hits.
Yeah, there's exactly nothing original.
Yeah,
about it, you know?
There's really nothing original.
I guess that's what really just doesn't hit it home for anybody. It's just not original.
So
it's just trying to make a paycheck. Let's just be honest.
The boat scene was cool, though. The boat scene was cool at the end where a T-Rex attacked that boat in the water.
Oh, my God.
And the boat's sinking. And there's a gasoline leak, so it's catching on fire. This did seem reminiscent of Jaws just a little bit. Almost to the point it was just ripping it off more than it was like paying an homage to it. But it's cool because he's trying to get Laura Dern on the phone. So at the beginning, he goes to Laura Dern's house. She's married, has kids. You can tell he's kind of butthurt because he never went for her. And she married some bigwig at the State Department, which comes into play later in the movie. He calls her son answers, of course. Great, pretty good suspense here. He's like trying to hold the phone above the water. And eventually he gets her and they get out of this predicament with the T-Rex, and they're on their way to the coast. Right before they get to the coast, they're surrounded by raptors. And they're just, these raptors are pissed because they stole those two. Did you see this part with me?
No.
All right, they stole these two raptor eggs. I know I'm just summarizing.
Yeah,
the movie, this is just so
he
dumb,
was stealing the raptor egg.
So, like, they get down on their knees and they're like, don't move. They just want the eggs. And the mama comes up and gets the eggs, and the raptors just walk away. I'm like, really? I mean, really? That just seems so stupid to me. But here was the dumbest shit. They get to the coast, and they just get to the coast, and the whole army's there. Like, they're invading the beaches in Normandy in World War II. Like, just because he was friends with Laura Dern, and
she's
her
got
husband
connections,
worked
honey.
for the State Department, they send, like, the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, like, to get him out. And it's like, what the hell,
It's
man?
over the top.
And it's just over. It's over. They get in the helicopter, the Jurassic
It just
Park
ends
theme.
abruptly.
Hey, you know what the best part of this movie, and Jerry kept referencing this, and I didn't know what the hell he's talking about. They're on their way to the island, and Sam Neill falls asleep, and Alan Grant, and he dreams, and in the dream, you see a velociraptor in the airplane staring at Alan Grant. He's like, hello, Alan. And the velociraptor is talking to him.
What was this supposed to be?
And he was talking to him in his dream. So you did have a talking dinosaur in this movie. I want to ask you this. Tia Leone, she plays a character named Amanda Kirby. Is she the most annoying character in all of the Jurassic Park?
Yeah, probably. Oh, I mean, I haven't seen all of them, but thus far, yeah.
What? So you've seen the first one. Yeah. You just hadn't seen Lost World. The second one. No. I think it's the worst one.
Yeah.
Because it's just bad. I think this is more boring and generic
you
than it is
just can't
bad.
touch it. I don't know why people try to touch stuff. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean. Why do you want to touch that?
Well,
the first one's magical. It's untouchable.
Money,
but yet,
Abby, money.
I guess
that's why.
I know, but I just wish people would just leave stuff alone.
Yeah, but we're in the franchise business in Hollywood now. But Tia Leone just screams the whole movie.
Well, like I told you about that one scene where it was just like this parachute had a skeleton in it. Somebody died in it, and she was like freaking screaming for 2 minutes straight. And it's like, okay,
that was her husband that was in that. Wouldn't you be screaming?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
No,
I'd be like, hey.
I know, my corpse comes down the parachute. Abby like pops a bottle of wine and goes to start washing sideways instead of like screaming. But I mean,
no,
but she did that in itself. Like
I didn't know that was her husband,
Alan
but
Grant,
nonetheless, she screamed for 2 minutes straight in the movie, at least.
like more than
probably
our baby does.
Yeah,
like Alan Grant tells her, "Don't scream, don't yell." It's just like like every 5 seconds. Like it's really, really annoying. Is there anything else you want to say about Jurassic Park 3?
Not really. There's not much to say about that movie.
There's I think we've said about all you could say. I think Jerry would probably have a little more to say if he was here.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, it's okay.
I'd
like,
give it a
would
1.
A crap? You give it a crap.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
Right. It's like one of those shitty movies that everybody forgets.
No, I'm gonna give it a
You're too nice about your ratings, though.
But to me, it's worth. Here's the reason I give it a.
Would you ever watch it again?
Yeah. I've watched this movie a couple times. It's short. That's one of the reasons I'll watch it. But
life's too short.
Here's the thing, Abby. The boat scene's worth 1 star to me, and the scene in the pterodactyl aviary is
so you're telling me
another star to me. That's 2. That's it.
So you're telling me one day when you're wanting to have a family video night, oh hey, let's get this movie out and watch it.
I mean, if we were watching like say Jurassic Park World, Fallen Kingdom, whatever the hell
the next
3
one
was
is
coming up, and we're like, all right, we're gonna watch all of them, like I was with the Mission Impossible movies. Then I would watch it, but I wouldn't be like every.
I don't think it's necessary to watch the movie though.
I'm not like
there's nothing you're
July,
missing.
Like, oh, I'm gonna go watch Jurassic Park 3 because let's be honest, if you're gonna watch a Jurassic Park movie, you're gonna watch the
Jurassic
first one.
Park.
If you're gonna
that's
watch
the only
2,
one you need to watch.
But
though.
if you're gonna watch 2, you'll watch Jurassic World.
Yeah. So, Jurassic Park and then Jurassic World.
Which are pretty much the same movie.
The other ones you don't have to watch.
No. But they're going to keep churning them out. All right, Abby. That's going to just about wrap it up for what is the 98th edition of the Confirmed Epic Podcast. Where can people find more of you on the internet when you're not changing diapers and burping Harper? Anywhere? Nowhere? Bueller? All right. That Abby is non-existent. She has no internet presence. She's afraid of Skynet. But I more than make up for her lack of presence on the internet. You can find this podcast at iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, SoundCloud, YouTube, on actionfigurebarbecue.com. That's barbecue spelled out. The Epic Review, epicreview.com, and on Geeks Worldwide, thegww.com. Go to Jerry's website, actionfigurebarbecue.com. Check out his toy reviews. Find me on Twitter at TheRealBradBell, DREEL Brad Bell. And once again, from the Hollywood foothills of North Carolina, we are out.
That's all I have to say about that.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks, assemble!